podcast clip last week from an ex-Muslim who's now a Christian saying that Muslims have the ability to lie for the sake of Islam.
Yeah.
How can Muslims lie for the sake of Islam? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so there's there's this hadith that talks about like 3 situations where they can lie. One is to your wife. You can lie to your wife, yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
the women out there would go crazy if that was the case.
My wife, she wouldn't have it.
I can't imagine like lying to, I'm not married yet in Jesus' name, but to my girlfriend. I can't imagine lying to my girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just and so you don't have to, like, for a Muslim, you don't have to tell her if you're getting a second wife. Like, you can just go get a second wife, start a family with her. You don't have to tell your wife about that. You can lie to her.
Wow.
She asks. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can lie to your wife. You can lie when it comes to, like, let's say that you don't have the numbers as an Islamic, like, I guess, community of people. So you can fake a truce with the people that you're, like, I guess, submitting to or trying to be peaceful with until you get strong enough, and you can go ahead and break that truce, break your oath if you want. And then another one, you can lie if there's 2 people that are quarreling with each other, you can lie to bring peace between them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
bro.
Yeah. Thou shalt lie under 3 cases.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Thou shalt lie, bro. Imagine that.
So I see a lot of Muslims talk about the Trinity. They always bring up the Trinity.
Yep.
They deny the Trinity. They're always like, but you have God the Father and God the Son. Those are 2 different beings.
Yeah.
But, us Christians say that the Trinity is one essence, 3 persons.
That's right.
How do you explain the Trinity to a Muslim?
Well, I like to start with a common ground that with a Muslim, they're really huge on Allah being incomprehensible. Really huge on that. Like the Quran talks about how Allah, there's nothing you can compare him to in creation, right? So I like to establish that common ground that we as Christians and Muslims both believe that God is incomprehensible. He's nothing like his creation, right? However, when I talk about Allah, I can point to a lot of things that's like Allah. Allah's only one being in one person. I'm only one being in one person. You're only one being in one person. You're just like Allah. I'm just like Allah, right? But when it comes to the Trinity, Yahweh, you cannot point to anything in creation. You can't use any analogy. Every analogy you use falls short to compare to God and his nature. And so when it comes to the Trinity, God truly fits the bill of being incomprehensible, incomparable. This is not something we can wrap our minds around or make up on our own.
Yeah.
So that's step 1. God is incomprehensible. So just because it doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean it's not true, right? Just like you wouldn't say that Allah, when he has a hand or a shin that he's going to show on the day of judgment, and you say, we don't know what his shin is like, his hands are not like our hands, we can't explain it, but you still accept it. Have that same energy and consistency when it comes to the Trinity. Just because you can't comprehend the nature of God doesn't mean that this concept is false.
Wow.
That's step 1. Step 2 is God is infinite. God is the greatest conceivable being. So, for example, my favorite argument for the Trinity is how God is love. To be love, and I'll ask this question. I said, what would you say is, you would agree that God is the greatest conceivable being. He's the highest in every quality, right? And the Muslim was like, of course, yes, of course. I said, so he's the most loving, the greatest love, right? That's right, absolutely. Okay, good. What quality of love would you say is greater? Would you say it's selfish love, love that you just have for your own self, or love that you share with another? They'll say shared love. Yes, I agree. Awesome. So that means since we can conceive of a love that is greater than just selfish love, then God has to at least have that quality of love that's greater than selfish love. Shared love, which requires another person. So within God's essence, God has to have shared love that he shares with another person without depending on creation. If God is independent, he can't depend on creation. He has to have the greatest qualities within his own self.
Wow.
With Allah, who was he loving before creation? Himself. Okay. So he has the lowest quality of love. The triune God has the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit sharing that cooperative love together from eternity's past without depending on creation. That's why the Bible says God is love, and the Trinity exemplifies that.
Oh,
So, yeah.
that I'm not even lying. That might be one of the greatest examples of the Trinity I've actually heard. I've never heard anything that made so much sense.
Brother, it is, for me, it's the best argument when explaining it. Like if you're talking about explaining the Trinity, I think that the love argument is top tier. Yeah.
So what is the difference between an American Muslim
Mm-hmm.
and a Muslim from the Middle East?
Yeah, so I both of them I think would have to do with culture. Like an American Muslim, it's popular to be a Muslim.
Yeah.
It's like the thing to do. It's the woke thing to do is to be a Muslim or to sympathize with Islam, right? With a Middle Eastern Muslim, it's culture. Like it's bred into their veins. Like it's Islam, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not even necessarily totally religious. It's cultural. It's what they are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that would be a big difference, I would say, with America. In America, it's popular to be Muslim, so you sympathize with Islam. You're woke if you're a Muslim. Or like even if you're not on the woke side, but just that conversion, you know, you're not in that culture that it's like you're not bred into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, something that blew my mind, which, you know, if you're watching or listening to this out there, or you're a Muslim, I looked into Muslim eschatology, and it just blew my mind at how all the bad stuff for Christians is like all their good stuff.
Yeah,
bro. I was like, what the heck? Like, it's crazy. That is the craziest thing to me. All the bad stuff for Christians is the good stuff in their end times. Like, we believe in a mass falling away, and they believe in a mass conversion to Islam.
Yes.
And like, yeah. And crazy. The craziest thing to me about the Muslim eschatology is they do like and I could totally be butchering, so correct me.
Yeah,
but it's like they do these parades and celebrations in the street and like if you don't convert to Islam, they commit jihad on you and they like behead you, something like that.
There's I don't know about, you said a march in the street.
They do like celebrations in the street.
I haven't heard of that.
Okay.
However, you have in like the Quran teaches this. Like it literally, this is chapter 9, verse 29. It says, "Fight those who do not believe in Allah nor the last day or the final messenger, or forbid what Allah and his messenger forbid among the people of the book." The people of the book are the Jews and Christians, until they pay the jizya, right? It's a tax that makes you feel humiliated, and until you feel subdued. So the Quran literally commands Muslims to fight against us not because we're fighting against them, but because we don't believe. Yeah. We don't believe in Islam. We believe Jesus is the Son of God and was crucified. So we deserve to be fought for it. Dang. So that's in the Quran. It's in the Hadith, right? So when it comes to certain people going out and committing this jihad, going out and fighting on behalf of Allah, they're not extremists. They're not. They're real Muslims. Yeah. The extremists are the ones who are saying, no, it's kumbaya, it's Skittles and rainbows and Sour Patches. You know, those are the extremists.
Whoa.
Those are the bad Muslims.
They're just woke. They're just woke.
Yes.
Dang.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I always saw, because I'm like, yeah, when in America, when I see Muslims saying, oh yeah, it's fine if you're a homosexual, or it's fine if you're these things, I'm like, bro, go to the Middle East and say these things that you support. They will literally beat you in the street.
Go say that in the middle of the marketplace, man. Go ahead and say that Christians are going to heaven in the marketplace. Say that Jesus is the Son of Allah in a correct sense. Go ahead and say that in Saudi Arabia. Go say that in the Middle East, in the middle of the marketplace, and I'll just wait. And I'll wait for you to come back. I'll see if you come back. You won't make it back. No, it's not happening.
Have you ever been in the Middle East?
No, I haven't.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Bro, I want to go to the Kaaba, man. Bro. I want to go to the Mecca and I want to preach the gospel, but I won't make it back if I do that.
Yeah.
I can't even get in though, even if I wanted to, man. But yeah.
So if a Christian was visiting the Mecca and it was prayer time and they didn't go in there to pray, what would happen?
Well, they wouldn't make it in the first. You can't go to Mecca as a Christian. You have to be a Muslim to go to Mecca.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing if you went to like you were there and
I couldn't. I
you just couldn't get there.
I'm an infidel. I'm a kafir. I'm a disbeliever. So I'm not allowed. Like my presence diminishes the holy land, basically.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't. They wouldn't let me in.
So my last question before we switch to Mormonism.
Yeah,
Are there contradictions in the Quran?
a bunch of them. You want one?
Can you point one out to me?
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Hey,
You feel me?
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
Come on now, one-handed.
Watch enough anime, man. You good with this? All right. So look, this is a real easy one. Okay, I'm gonna give you two.
Okay, give me two.
Contradictions, and then yeah. All right. So this is one of my favorite ones. Very clear. What I like to do is I like to show Muslims that we read in context. So that we're not like cherry picking verses, but we're reading in context, right? So I'm gonna show at least 3 verses that say the same thing.
Mhm.
That there's a common theme that the Quran is saying. Okay. And then I'll show the opposite. So the first thing I'm gonna show is chapter 6, verse 115. And in this verse, watch what it says here once we get the verses. It says, where the verse at? Here's verse 14, 114. Okay. Oh, okay, there it is. All right, so it says, the word of your Lord has been perfected in truth and justice. None can change his words, and he is the all-hearer, the all-knowing. Here's verse 114. Sorry, that was 115. Say, O prophet, should I seek a judge other than God, while he is the one who has revealed to you the book with truth, perfectly explained? So we just heard it. The book is perfectly explained, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, that's pretty nice. All right. Maybe that's just a one-off little thing. You know, let's see if is that consistent. Let's see.
Chef's cooking right now.
Yep. So here's chapter 11, verse 1. It says, this is a book whose verses are perfectly explained. Okay. That's 2. We 2 for 2.
Consistent.
Right? All right. Pretty consistent. All right. All right. Now let's go to chapter 12. We're going to read verse 111, the very last verse of the chapter. And it says, in their stories, I'm talking about the stories of the prophets, there is truly a lesson for people of reason. This message, the Quran, cannot be a fabrication, but rather it is a confirmation of the previous scriptures and a detailed explanation of all things, and a guide and a mercy for people of faith. So we got 3 verses that say that the Quran is perfectly explained. This one is very beautiful because it says it's a detailed explanation of everything.
Wow.
Right?
That's a bold claim.
It's a huge claim. That's why I'm glad the Bible never said that, because the Bible is very ambiguous in a lot of places.
Yeah.
You know, but this gives you no room for the Quran to be missing details. It just made claim over and over again. It's perfectly explained, detailed about everything. Okay. Now let's be charitable. It's not saying it's going to be detailed about how to tie your shoe or work a microwave. I'm not going to talk about that. But everything the Quran mentions in this book should be perfectly detailed, explained. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right,
fair.
that's fair. All right, so now where's the problem there? Here's chapter 3, verse 7. Watch this. So in chapter 3, verse 7, this is what it says here when we get the verse. He is the one who revealed to you, O prophet, the book, of which some verses are precise. They're pretty clear, very specific. They are the foundation of the book, while others are elusive. Some are unspecific and ambiguous. But it doesn't stop there. Watch what. It says, those with deviant hearts follow the elusive verses, seeking to spread doubt about through their false interpretations, but none grasps their meaning except Allah. As far as those with well-grounded knowledge, they just say, we believe all is from Allah. So this verse just said there's some clear verses, there's some elusive verses, unclear verses, and only Allah knows the meaning of those unclear verses. So you can't have the Quran be perfectly explained, a detailed explanation about everything, while at the same time have verses that are unexplained where only Allah knows the meaning. That's a contradiction. All right?
What the heck?
Yeah. So pretty cool right there. Now, you can have fun with that one.
Because you're just like, oh, we found a contradiction. Pretty cool. You know, if you're watching, if you're out there, it's pretty great. We just found a contradiction.
Found a contradiction in the Quran, man. Pretty clear one. Now, you can have fun with this because let's say you don't bring up the contradictory verse, right? Let's say you just go with the verses I showed you where it says it's perfectly explained, detailed about everything. I don't need this verse to show us a contradiction. All I can do is just show where the Quran's ambiguous. So for example, when it talks about the fall of Adam and his wife, it doesn't mention who his wife is. Who's his wife? When it mentions Abraham's wives, doesn't mention who are they? Sarah and Hagar, doesn't name them. Or the sons. Which of the sons were the ones to be sacrificed? Who was the firstborn? It doesn't say. It doesn't say which son. There's a lot. Or the crucifixion of Jesus. It was made to appear so that he was crucified. Okay, what happened though? You don't know. Appeared to who? You don't know. What happened? You don't know. There's all of these details that are missing with the Quran. It's not explained at all. It's very ambiguous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. It's so crazy because so what happens when you explain that to a Muslim?
One of two things. Either they deny it or they acknowledge it and say, you know what, okay, I need to do some research on this. So it's one of those two ways.
Basic response.
Yeah, I just had a young Muslim kid join the live stream. He's been showing up a bunch of times, and I love this dude. He's brave. You know.
Yeah.
He said, if you could show me any contradiction in the Quran logic, I'll become a Christian today. Show me one contradiction. I said, you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm like, you positive? You hear what you're saying? He's like, yes. I'm like, all right, I got you. I showed him this contradiction. He's been coming back like 5 streams in a row with different explanations from like his teachers and stuff like that. And we've been walking through it and he's been out. He's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah, it looks like it's a contradiction. I'm like, so you ready to become a Christian? He's like, no, not yet. I got to see, so, but that's he's a fun little character on our series.
Bro, I love that before we move on to the Mormonism, I just love how you are like actively discipling these dudes.
Yeah.
Like you're not one off, like hitting these guys hard and like, you're like, see ya. And I think that's the part of the Great Commission that we miss is it says, and teach them everything that you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And bro, you are actively teaching these people everything that you know. I mean, the dude that turned his whole family to Christ, still popping up, consuming the content. You're digitally discipling this guy. Yeah. This kid, you're literally discipling him on live.
Yeah.
And that's actually brave for him to be young. I mean, I know the younger I was, the more pride I had. You know, probably like 13, 16, 17. I was so prideful, bro.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's standing up and being like, even having the remote chance of looking humiliated in front of his culture. Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah. I'm honest. I'm shocked by it. I'm gonna be real. I'm shocked by him specifically because he's able to come back over and over. And, but he has more humility than a lot of the adults that we talk to.
Wow.
He's able to, I get a better conversation out of him than a lot of the dishonest adults that I talk to. He's able to follow the reason. And the conclusion, he's like, okay, yeah, this for now it looks like a contradiction.
Yeah,
he can at least admit it, and so he's close. That's why I love that dude, man. He's welcome. I don't care what my topic is. He can come anytime, and I'll talk to them because he's reachable.
Come on,
he's reachable. So
that's lit.
Yeah. Praying for him, man.
Oh, well, I want to switch to Mormonism.
Yeah, let's talk about the Mormon book.
I got my second book over here. You know what's so crazy is that they still have yet to come to my house.
Do they know you?
They are the only people group, religion that will not talk to me.
Dude.
And it's crazy because I'm just being open and vulnerable here. I don't know as much as you do. And they still won't come talk to me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I would be afraid to talk to you. If I was a Mormon, I would be afraid to talk to Preston Perry.
Yeah, Preston is
Preston's dude, he is whipping them up.
Preston's. I got to call Preston too because I need some insight. But yeah, Preston's crazy. He's crazy with it.
He is crazy, just crazy evangelist. Yeah. I love it. I know basic stuff, but I still want to ask the questions because I think it's valuable. I think it's important, and there's just a lot of people that follow us that are like, oh yeah, we're Christian. But they're really Latter-day Saints. And I'm like, you guys aren't Christian. Yeah. And then they get upset. And I'm not trying to be mean. I love them.
Being real, yeah.
Trying to be the truth.
Yeah.
So, our boy Joseph. Joseph Smith. Come on. Our boy.
Look, man, I'll tell you what. Sometimes I have this question where I ask my audience, who do y'all think is the biggest false prophet out of Moses and Muhammad? Which one gets it? And it's a split group. Some say Muhammad, some say Joseph Smith. You know, maybe I need to learn more about Joseph Smith because I think it's Muhammad. But some people say Joseph Smith, man. Our guy Joe, man, Big Joe out here getting the flack, man. So, you know, it's funny because I was live once, right? I was live and Mormons came to my house while I was live. And I invited them on the live stream. It's on my channel. And so they sat behind me and we spoke. You know? Yeah, it was so fun.
That's lit.
It was so fun. Yeah.
That is so lit. This has got to be the most interesting one to me.
Really?
All of them. Yeah, I mean, I feel like everything's pretty clear cut, but when you got a dude that's been arrested 3 times for falsifying treasures, and then he founds an entire religion off of discovering a treasure that only he can decipher, that's pretty crazy to me.
See, dude, that's what I'm saying. I need to learn more about Joseph Smith then, because I didn't know that.
Bro, he's been arrested like 3 or 4 times for falsifying treasures. They have one. They have like one the trial that Mormons are typically like, oh, this one's not a big deal. It's like, okay, well, let's exclude that one. There's still 2 more that he's been arrested for falsifying treasures, and then he founds an entire religion off of
finding a treasure that he can just
finding some gold tablets.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, with Mormons, I usually deal with the theology that they brought about being gods and
what is all that? Some Mormons, I say, hey, do you believe that you're going to become a god one day?
Mm-hmm.
And some of them say no.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm almost positive the Mormon theology is that they believe that they're going to become gods one day.
Yeah, that is the theology. So if they're saying no, they're just unaware of what Joseph and Brigham Young and what these guys taught.
So where does that come from?
That comes from Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. Like these guys are, and a couple of their sermons I don't, man, I wish Jeff Durbin was here right now. You know, he'd be able to just lay it out. So I don't want to misspeak, but in one of Joseph Smith's talks, and I think it's also Brigham Young, but they talk about how they're going to refute the idea that God, the Father, has always been God, but that he was once as we are, and we will become as he is. You know? So they taught this idea that we're going to become gods one day, and that the Father himself was a man who became God one day. And then it's this infinite regress where, and his father became God one, and his father, you know.
Yeah.
So it's so blasphemous, it's so heretical, and it's terrible. It's such a terrible theology.
What about the Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah.